Boss fired me for fraud find, revenge story bites. I found a $2 million hole in the books. My boss fired me for it. That was the day I stopped trusting suits. If this story moved, you don't forget to drop a comment and subscribe to Viora for more unforgettable stories that speak to the heart. I'm Jason Kessler, 47 head accountant at Sterling Solutions, a logistics firm in Boise, Idaho. 9 years in, I'd turned their books from chaos to gold, helping grow a startup into a $200 million player. Not a tycoon, but solid $190,000 a year. A cedar shingle house, a Ford F-150, and a life I'd carved out alone since my divorce 5 years back. No kids, just me and my numbers clean and true. Sterling was my pride. I mentored a team, caught every decimal, and earned handshakes from clients. My boss, CFO Warren Holt, 62, called me the Vault. I thought my work was bulletproof. Then Donnie Ashburn, 49, the new CFO, swaggered in and blew it all apart. It started quiet. Donnie, a sharp-tongued exec from Seattle, landed after Warren retired for health reasons. He brought buzzwords, optimization, scalability, and a grin that didn't reach his eyes. In budget meetings, he mocked my manual audits as Stone Age. I'd saved Sterling $3 million by catching errors, not chasing apps. But Donnie wanted streamlined reporting. Faster numbers, fewer questions. I caught him glancing at my files, my desk. Then the book started lying. The first red flag was a $500,000 payment to a vendor with no invoice. I dug deeper. Revenue booked early before contracts closed. A ghost account with $2 million flickering in and out. I cross-checked bank records, found transfers to a shell company, Peak Ventures. My gut churned. This wasn't sloppy accounting, it was fraud. I brought it to Donnie expecting a nod, maybe a fix. He leaned back, smirking. Big picture, Kessler. Don't sweat the details. I pushed. Details. This is millions. His eyes narrowed. Focus on your job. Doubt's a slow burn. By fall, Donnie's restructure hit. He called me and tie loose, grin sharp. Jason, you're out. We need agile talent. 9 years and he axed me like I was nothing. You're a ledger in a cloud world, he sneered. I got a severance offer, 6 months pay, but tied to an NDA. Sign and I'd be gagged. I took the papers, walked out, his chuckle trailing. My team accountants I'd trained stared silent. I kept my chin up, but inside I was cracking. Home was no refuge. My office, lined with old ledgers, felt like a tomb. I poured a whiskey, stared at the NDA. Sign and I'd be complicit. Refuse and they'd come for me. I called my brother-in-law, Greg Tillman, 44, an SEC investigator who'd seen corporate scams up close. We met at a Boise brewery, neon lights buzzing. Jason, you sure? Greg asked, sipping stout. It's fraud, Greg. Millions. I need to know my play. He scribbled a name. Clara Vance. Lawyer. She's a pit bull. Costs, but she's worth it. I pocketed it, resolve hardening. Clara was a force, late 40s, eyes like knives. We met in her office, coffee cold. What's your goal, Kessler? She asked. The truth. Donnie's scam, their endgame. She nodded. 2 weeks. Act normal. Don't sign that NDA. Normal. Like I could with my career in ashes. I played the role. Cleared my desk at Sterling. Nodded when Donnie bragged about growth. But every smile was a lie. Clara worked fast. Her first report landed bank records showing $4 million funneled through Peak Ventures tied to a board member, Harlan Drake, 60. Emails between Donnie and Harlan planning to inflate Sterling's stock for a buyout. The kicker. Donnie wasn't just cooking books, he was using my audits to hide it, tweaking my reports after I filed. My work, my name twisted into their scam. I sat in my truck, snow dusting the windshield, reading Clara's file. This was a revenge story, but not just mine, it was a corporate con. I could have signed the NDA, taken the money. But I'm sharper than that. I called Greg. Get me to the SEC, I said. I'm blowing this open. Greg paused. This is war, Jason. Ready. I gripped the phone. They used me. I'm fighting back. The SEC meeting was days away. I didn't tell Donnie I'd be there. He thought I was gone, silenced. I stood outside Sterling's steel headquarters, watching Donnie pitch my clients to execs I'd trusted. My chest ached for the man I'd been. Then Clara called. Got more, she said. Audio. Donnie and Harlan at a client dinner. They're planning to tank Sterling post-buyout. I listened in my basement, weights silent. Donnie's voice smug. Kessler's numbers are our cover. He's out, we're clear. My blood boiled. I sent it to Greg. This goes to the SEC, I said. And the board. The first twist hit like a spark. Clara traced Peak Ventures to a trust linked to Harlan Drake. Donnie had promised him a cut of the buyout if Sterling's stock soared. They weren't just stealing, they were setting me up as the fall guy. I met Clara at a diner, dawn breaking. What's next? I asked. She sipped coffee, eyes sharp. Confront Donnie now, it's messy. Or rewrite their game better. I leaned back, mind racing. Donnie thought I'd stay quiet. Harlan thought he owned the board. They were wrong. Let's crash their deal, I said, voice like steel. Greg filed a whistleblower report with the SEC attaching Clara's evidence. I hired a forensic accountant, Tara Flynn, 42, to dig deeper. $6 million gone over 3 years vendor payments, consulting fees. My life's work propping up their fraud. Tara's report was a blade. You've got them, she said, handing it over. They're done. But they weren't. Donnie called, voice oily. Jason signed the NDA. We can make this easy. I let him talk, recording. Easy. You cooked the books. He laughed, nervous. Big picture, man. I hung up, sent the audio to Clara. My phone buzzed again. Unknown number. A man's voice, rough. Back off, Kessler. You're out of your league. Click. My pulse raced. Harlan. Had to be. I locked the house, checked the cameras. Nothing. But the threat lingered. This wasn't just about numbers anymore. Donnie, Harlan, and whoever was pulling strings, they were coming for me, and I was ready to strike. That voice on the phone, gruff, threatening, stuck like a splinter. You're out of your league, he'd growled. Sleep was a lost cause. My Boise house, once my fortress, felt like a target. Every passing car, every creak set my nerves on fire. But I wasn't backing down. I'm Jason Kessler, and I'd built Sterling Solutions' financial spine from scratch. No way was I letting Donnie Ashburn, Harlan Drake, or their scam bury me. Dawn broke icy and sharp. I called Clara, my lawyer, voice steady. Got a threat. Mail, maybe Harlan. Dig into his circle. Clara was all steel. They're rattled, Jason. We're close. I'll track his contacts. Next, I hit up Tara, the forensic accountant. What's new on the money? I asked. She didn't hesitate. They're sloppy. Another $1. $5 million moved last night. Offshore Cayman Islands. I'm chasing the trust. My jaw clenched. Offshore. This wasn't just fraud, it was a heist. I drove to Sterling's headquarters, its glass facade mocking my exile. The lot buzzed with my old team accountants. I'd mentored, their nods heavy with respect. But I wasn't there to mourn. I needed to think. Donnie, Harlan, they weren't just cooking books. They were rigging Sterling stock for a buyout, using my audits as their shield. 9 years of my life, late nights, skipped weekends, a bad knee twisted into their lie. I wasn't letting that stand. Midday, Greg called. The SEC's on edge, he said. Your report's got them moving. They want you in tomorrow. You ready? I gripped the phone. Ready. I'm bringing the hammer. But Greg's tone shifted. Jason, heads up. Harlan's got a board ally, Sylvia Grant, 58. She's been quiet, but she's tied to him. My stomach twisted. Sylvia, the board member who'd praised my audits last year. Too cozy with Harlan at client dinners. Got it, I said low. She's in my sights. That afternoon, Clara sent a new file. Bank records showing $3 million more funneled through Peak Ventures with Sylvia's name on a transfer memo. My blood boiled. Donnie was the frontman, Harlan the brains. But Sylvia was the insider greasing the wheels. If they were this deep, the fraud was bigger than a revenge story. But why me? My audits were tight, not a fortune. What was their real play? No time to guess. My phone buzzed. Text unknown number. Check your porch. My pulse spiked. I strode outside, heart hammering. A plain envelope, no marking. Inside a USB drive and a note. They're not untouchable. Use it. No signature. I should have called Clara, but curiosity burned. In my office, I plugged in the drive. A video loaded. Grainy footage of Donnie and Harlan in a Boise steakhouse arguing. Donnie leaned in. You said Kessler was gone. Harlan's voice was cold. He is. Sylvia's got the board. We're clear. The video cut out. My hands shook. Sylvia. They weren't just stealing, they were rigging the whole company. But who sent the USB? Friend. Foe. I forwarded it to Clara. Find out who's tailing Harlan, I said. Someone's playing both sides. She didn't flinch. On it. But Jason, Harlan's old money. His network's deep. This could get rough. Rough was my language. I'd caught a $10 million error in 19, saved Sterling from collapse. But this was blood. I met Greg at his office, showed him the video. His face darkened. Sylvia's a ghost. If she's in, the board's compromised. I leaned forward. Then we hit harder. File with the SEC. Take them all. Greg hesitated. This is a big swing, Jason. Sure. I met his eyes. They used my work. I'm done playing nice. That night I couldn't stay home. The silence screamed betrayal. I drove to a bar, ordered a bourbon. The burn steadied me. Then I saw her, not a ghost, but Tara, the accountant. She was at a booth sipping gin. Rough day, I asked, sliding in. She smirked. You're one to talk. We swapped stories, her bad breakup, my early days balancing books. For a moment I forgot the war. But as I left, she grabbed my arm. Jason, be careful. That offshore trust, it's Harlan's. Donnie's just the face. The face. The words hit like a brick. Donnie was a pawn, Harlan the king. But why my audits? The answer came at dawn. Clara called, voice urgent. Found the USB source. Ex-employee of Harlan's fired last month. Name's Leah Brooks, 39. She's got dirt bribery stock manipulation. Wants to meet. I didn't blink. Set it up. Leah was a wreck chain smoking in a coffee shop. Harlan wants Sterling's buyout, she said, eyes darting. Your audits were the perfect cover, clean trusted. They used you to hide the fraud. My fists clenched. And Donnie, Leah snorted. Donnie's a tool. Harlan pays him to keep Sylvia in line. But she's slipping. She called me panicked. I leaned in. Panicked. What? Leah's eyes locked on mine. Harlan's got leverage. Old emails. From her past. Before Sterling. The air vanished. Sylvia wasn't just a traitor, she was trapped. Part of me wanted to expose her, let her burn. But the part that had fought for Sterling knew better. I slipped Leah $500. Stay safe, I said. She nodded, gone. The SEC meeting was hours away. I walked in, Greg at my side, Leah's words burning. Donnie was there smirking with Sylvia at the board table. The chair doctor. Ellen Baxter, 57, skimmed my report, jaw tight. This is serious, she said. I laughed cold. Serious. They used my audits to steal millions. I tossed Leah's affidavit on the table detailing Harlan's scam. Donnie's smirk vanished. Sylvia paled. Jason, I didn't save it, I snapped. You sold us out. I pointed at Donnie, who shifted, eyes narrow. Then the first twist. Baxter's phone buzzed. She glanced at it, froze. We need to pause, she said, voice shaky. The SEC got a tip. They're raiding Sterling. Fraud, insider trading. Sylvia gasped. Donnie shot up. This is nonsense. Sid, I said, voice like ice. You're done. The room stilled. Baxter adjourned, promising to regroup. Sylvia grabbed my arm as I left. Jason, I was forced. Harlan, I shook her off. You chose him. Outside, Greg clapped my shoulder. You shook the board. But Harlan's not out. I nodded, scanning the street. A gray SUV idled, tinted windows. Trouble. I called Clara. Check Harlan's movements. He's not quitting. She didn't sugarcoat it. He's not. Got a hit on his phone. He's meeting Donnie tonight. Warehouse district. You in? I gripped the phone. Hell yes. That night I parked a block from the warehouse, Clara's directions locked in. Snow crunched underfoot, streetlights dim. Donnie's car was there next to a Bentley. Harlan's voices echoed inside. I crept closer, phone recording. Donnie was yelling. You said Kessler was silenced. Now the SEC's coming. Harlan's voice was smooth, lethal. Relax. Sylvia's the fall guy. She'll take the hit. My blood boiled. They were framing her. After everything, she was their scapegoat. Then the second twist. A flashlight beam hit me. Who's there? A third voice, not Donnie's or Harlan's. I froze. Footsteps. I bolted, ducking behind crates. The beam swept past. My phone buzzed. Clara. Get out. Harlan's got security. Too late. A hand grabbed my shoulder, spun me. A guy 6'3", built like a tank. Wrong move, he growled. I swung, caught his chin. He staggered. Pain exploded in my ribs as he hit back. I hit the ground, vision blurring. Headlights. A car screeched up. Clara. She leapt out, taser in hand. Back off, she shouted. The guy hesitated, ran. Clara hauled me up. You're an idiot, she muttered, shoving me into her car. We peeled out, snow swirling. What'd you hear? She asked. I coughed, ribs screaming. They're framing Sylvia. Harlan's the puppet master. Clara's jaw tightened. Then we take him down. Back home, I iced my ribs, mind racing. Donnie, Harlan, Sylvia, a snake pit. But Leah's tip, Clara's hustle, Tara's evidence, it was stacking up. I wasn't just fighting for my audits anymore. This was about truth. Tara called. Big news. That offshore trust, tied to Harlan's family. Tax evasion laundering. I sent it to the SEC. I grinned, pain be damned. You're a rock star. She laughed. Just doing my job. But Jason, Sylvia's been calling me. She's terrified. Donnie's unhinged. I didn't answer. Sylvia's fear didn't sway me. She'd made her choice. Then the third twist. My home security pinged. Footage from last night, someone tampering with my laptop in the garage. I zoomed in. Not Donnie. Sylvia. She wasn't just a pawn, she was covering her tracks. I called Greg, Clara, Tara. We end this. Now. The plan was tight. Bait Donnie, catch Sylvia in the act, tie them to Harlan. But as I hung up, my phone buzzed. Sylvia. A voicemail. Jason, I'm at the office. Donnie's here. He's losing it. Help. Her voice cracked raw with panic. I stared at the phone. Sterling's office. My old battlefield where I'd balanced 1,000 books. Now a trap. Or was it? Sylvia had betrayed me. But that panic, it was real. I grabbed my keys. This wasn't about saving her. This was about finishing it. But the game shifted again. Clara called as I drove. Jason knew intel. Leah got more. Harlan's been skimming Sterling's revenue for years, not just your audits. He's got another mole board member, Carl Weaver, 53. He's feeding him data. My mind reeled. Carl, the board member who'd backed my raises. Another traitor. What's the play? I asked. Clara's voice was grim. Expose them at the SEC meeting. But watch your back. Harlan's desperate. I parked a mile from Sterling mind spinning. Carl's betrayal widened the net. This wasn't just about my audits, it was about Sterling's survival. I met Greg at a gas station, snow falling. Carl's dirty, I said, handing him Clara's file. Greg's eyes narrowed. This changes everything. We hit the SEC with this, it's over. I nodded. But we need Donnie first. He's the weak link. That evening, I set the bait. I texted Donnie from a burner phone posing as a client. Heard you're handling Kessler's accounts. Meet me at the office, 10 p.m. Let's talk numbers. He bit replying instantly. I'm there. I called Clara. He's coming. Be ready. She was already positioned hidden in the lot with a camera. At 10 p.m., I watched from a shadowed corner as Donnie arrived pacing in his office. No Sylvia. Her voicemail was a lie or a setup. My stomach dropped. Then headlights. A black SUV. Harlan stepped out with Carl Weaver, not Sylvia. My blood ran cold. This wasn't a meeting, it was a cleanup. I texted Clara. They're here. Call the cops. Now. The office hallway was a black maze. Harlan's and Carl's voices echoing like a death knell from Donnie's office. My heart slammed against my ribs. Sylvia's flash drive burning a hole in my pocket. Her voicemail, Donnie's losing it. Help rang in my head. Was she setting me up or breaking free? I'm Jason Kessler, and I'd built Sterling Solutions books into a fortress. No way was I letting Donnie Ashburn, Harlan Drake, or Carl Weaver torch it in a Boise night. Clara's text said cops were 5 minutes out. I just had to hold the line. Footsteps thudded closer. Donnie's voice sharp and panicked. Someone's here. I gripped Sylvia's wrist, her trembling breath hot against my neck. I signaled silence, easing the closet door open an inch. Donnie was tearing through files, muttering curses. Harlan's tone cut through from the office cold as steel. Find them, Ashburn. We're wiping the servers tonight. Carl's voice shaky. What if the SEC's already got it? Harlan laughed, venomous. They don't. Kessler's evidence is dust. Sylvia's the weak link. My blood surged. They were framing her shredding my work-gutting Sterling. But Sylvia's drive, if it was real, could flip the board. I whispered to Sylvia, that recording. Truth. She nodded, eyes wide, pressing the drive tighter into my hand. It's all there. Harlan's bribes, Donnie's lies. My gut twisted. Trusting her was a gamble, but I had no play left. I pocketed it, mind racing. 5 minutes was an eternity. I needed to stall. Donnie's shadow moved past the closet. I hissed to Sylvia, stay here. Scream if they grab you. She clutched my arm, desperate. Jason, don't. I shook her off. I'm ending this. I slipped out, hugging shadows, heart pounding. The office was a warren of cubicles, monitors, dark. Harlan and Carl were at Donnie's desk, shredding papers. I ducked behind a partition phone recording. Harlan's voice was a blade. Wipe everything. Kessler's clients are ours by dawn. Carl hesitated. If we're caught, we won't be, Harlan snapped. Ashburn handles the fallout. My jaw clenched. They thought I was done. They were wrong. The first twist hit like a thunderclap. A crash echoed Sylvia, stumbling from the closet, knocking over a printer. Donnie spun, eyes wild. There. He lunged at her. I didn't think. I charged, tackling him. We slammed into a desk, monitors crashing. Donnie roared, swinging a fist. Pain exploded in my cheek, but I pinned his arm, knee on his chest. Stay down, I shouted. Sylvia screamed, scrambling back. Harlan cursed, grabbing a laptop. Carl froze, eyes darting to the exit. Headlights flared outside, red and blue slicing through the snow. Clara had delivered. Donnie thrashed, but I held him, ribs screaming from the warehouse fight. Harlan bolted for the fire exit, laptop clutched. I yelled, he's running! Carl hesitated, then fled after him. Sylvia stood trembling, gripping a chair. Jason, I'm sorry, not now, I snapped, hauling Donnie up. Sirens wailed, closing in. Cops burst in, shouting. Hands up. I let Donnie go, hands raised. Jason Kessler, I said, voice steady. They're your targets. The cops cuffed Donnie, his smirk erased. Harlan and Carl didn't make it far. Clara's tip had squad cars at the exits. I handed the flash drive to the lead officer, a grizzled guy named Holt. This has it all. Bribes, fraud, stock rigging. Holt nodded, bagging it. Sylvia stood by the door, pale, silent. I didn't look at her. My statement was sharp. Donnie's scam, Harlan's empire, Sylvia's betrayal. The cops hauled them out, snow swirling in their wake. Days later, the fallout hit. Harlan's arrest dominated Boise, news fraud, bribery, insider trading. Donnie flipped, spilling details for a plea deal. Sylvia faced charges, her board seat gone. The SEC froze Sterling stock, halting the buyout. My audits were cleared, most of the $6 million traced. Tara's evidence and Sylvia's recording sealed it. But the second twist came from Leah, the whistleblower. She met me at a diner, sliding over a flash drive. Harlan's private emails, she said. He blackmailed Sylvia with her past affairs debts. I got them off his server. Your call. I stared at the drive. Part of me wanted to destroy it. let her secrets die. But the part that had fought for Sterling kept it locked in a safe. Not for revenge, but protection. Sylvia was out of my life, but I wasn't taking risks. Weeks passed. I didn't return to Sterling. Instead, I got a call from Horizon Dynamics, a logistics firm in Spokane. Their CEO, Tom Randall, 56, wanted me to head their finance team. I walked into their boardroom, my track record on display. Tom didn't blink. Name your terms. I did. $280, 0.005% equity, and a public statement calling me the numbers man. He shook my hand. Done. Sterling's board begged me to return, offering a CFO role. I met them in their tower, their faces desperate. Jason, we need you, Dr. Baxter pleaded. I smiled, tore their offer in half. You had your shot, I said, walking out. The glass doors swung shut final. Sylvia sent a letter a month later, scrawled on thin paper. I was trapped, she wrote. I'm sorry. I read it once, tossed it in the trash. Sorry didn't restore trust. Sorry didn't erase Donnie's lies or Harlan's schemes. I'd rebuilt my life stronger. That was enough. Horizon launched, my division contracts pouring in. I bought a new place, sleek, overlooking Spokane's riverfront. Tara and I grabbed coffee, sometimes her dry, with a quiet spark. Not love, not yet, but something. But the third twist came late when Clara called. Jason, one more thing. Sylvia's recording. She made it before you found the $2 million. She was trying to stop Harlan from the start. My chest tightened. Had I misjudged her? Or was it another lie? I didn't know, and I didn't chase it. Some truths stay buried. Then the fourth twist. My old Sterling clients, loyal to me, not the company, started calling. They wanted to follow me to Horizon. I didn't poach them, I didn't have to. They came because they trusted me. I set up a community fund with my first Horizon bonus, helping small clients hit by Sterling's collapse. It wasn't about tearing down Donnie or Harlan. It was about lifting up those who'd stood by me. But the final twist cut deepest. Greg called, voice low. Jason, we found something in Harlan's emails. He wasn't just rigging Sterling. He was targeting you, your audits, your reputation, to discredit you if you ever spoke out. There's a file labeled Kessler Contingency. It's got fabricated errors pinned on you. My blood ran cold. They hadn't just used me. They'd planned to frame me. I met Greg at a bar, snow falling outside. What's in the file? I asked. He slid a printout over. Fake audits, doctored emails. Enough to ruin you. I exhaled, steady. Send it to the SEC. Let it bury them. Late at night, staring at Spokane's lights, I'd see that flash drive in my mind, feel the weight of what I'd become. Was I a hero? A survivor? Or just a man who refused to break? I don't know. Maybe you do. Did I do right burning Sylvia's letter without a reply? Or should I have heard her out one last time? What's justice when trust is ash? Can honesty rebuild what greed destroys, or does it only scar us? Like what you heard. Hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Viora, because the next story might just be your favorite one yet.